Now let's go to the US. I'm sure we all remember the tax the rich dress worn by Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez. The designer, it now turns out, Aurora James, she at the time called the dress a powerful message. Well, it turns out that the designer has unpaid debts in multiple states with 3 open tax warrants in New York State for failing to withhold income taxes from employees' paychecks. I mean, this is like a comedy skit, Terry. I mean, the whole thing was ridiculous, wearing that dress to an event by, for the richest and most famous folk in America. But the person who designed it has got some tax issues of herself.
Well, exactly. I mean, go woke, go broke. She's taken it literally, the designer. I'm woke and I'm broke, and I'll break people who trust me with their money, in effect. When I saw that dress, I'm surprised that AOC, I'm not sure what her name is exactly, but AOC, wasn't wearing a sign on her back from those old cartoons, "Slap me," or it was just so absurd that she turns up at $15,000 a ticket or $20,000 a ticket affair.
35,000, I've heard.
Well, exactly, wearing that dress, which was ludicrous, and to also parade through all the hired help on their $15 an hour, having to wear masks while all the celebrities weren't wearing masks. Obviously, I mean, it's just so the lack of self-awareness is just so extraordinary. You can hardly believe it.
Absolutely, but Parnell, they get away with it because the media largely lets them get away with it. Just lastly, I want to ask you about Justin Trudeau. He's a happy man. He's won the claimed victory in the Canadian election. He called the early election expecting it to be a landslide, but it was a much, much closer affair. Parnell?
Yeah. Oh, sorry. Yes. Yes. Yeah. It was much closer. I didn't realise that you were throwing to me. I was waiting for the audio there. Yes, it was a much closer affair than people expected. But he's slid through, and I guess what the lesson is here for leaders around the world is that it takes a lot to lose an election in the wake of a pandemic, even though he called it, and people felt that like he was. Being very, very sort of useful to himself by calling it at the time, felt that it was very political. Nonetheless, they have come out and voted for him in great enough numbers to get him up again, because you've got to really, really get people offside to lose an election at the moment. And I'm sure that leaders around the world are looking at this and hoping for the same effect.
Scott Morrison certainly will be. Terry, Parnell, thank you both so much for joining us tonight.